Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and I got something neat for you today. This is the Bug 6 full FPV version. Now, you've seen my reviews of the Bugs 8 and of the Bug 6 basic version. This is the full FPV version that comes with the FPV camera, that comes with the goggles, that comes with the monitor screen that you insert into the goggles. Let's go over it real quick here. First off, it comes with this C5830 camera. Now, this is a 500 milliwatt camera, folks. It's only 8 channels, though. But the difference, you know, I've reviewed the Bugs 8 before. That also comes with a C5830. Now, what is the difference between this and, say, the Bugs 8? This is the Bugs 8. Well, the only difference is actually this canopy. Oh, one other thing. The difference is for the Bug 6, you have to install the camera yourself into the quadcopter. The Bugs 8 already comes with the camera installed, but that is really not a big deal, folks. All you do is remove these, pop off these 4 top screws off the canopy, remove the canopy, insert the camera into the shell up here in the front, and there's 3 screws that hold it down. Also, you got to plug in the control plug into the board there, and close it back up again, and make sure to bring out your antenna and plop it in the side here. But again, it's about a 10-minute job, not very hard to do at all. So that is the difference between this and the Bugs 8. You have to install the camera. So other than that, you know, it is the exact same. You come with the same monitor screen that you can attach to the controller. It comes with the same goggles. In fact, here they are right here. So, and I will be flying with them today to show you that you can control this with these goggles. The controller for this is the same controller as the Bugs 8. This is it right here. This is the Bug 6 controller, the exact same controller. Let's go over the controls real quick. This is your low and high rates. You use this button to start and stop the motors. Quick press will start the motors and bring them to idle, and a long press will shut off the motors at the end of the flight. You can do flips by pressing this button here and telling which direction to flip. And you can start and stop the video camera, or to take a photo. Long press will start the camera, video camera. Short press will take a photo. So, you know, the same controls. You know, this is throttle, this is yaw, pitch, roll, and you have trim buttons. So, you know, same controller. Now, the same features of telemetry, you got this as with the Bugs 8. This will tell you when the quadcopter is too far, or if the quadcopter is in low battery state, by beeping. Either way, if you hear a beep on this transmitter, bring that quadcopter in close to you, and if it continues beeping when it's close to you, it's time to land it, because that battery is probably getting low on the quadcopter. So, let's go for a flight of this thing and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, this is the first time I've bound this transmitter to that quadcopter. So to do such, for the first time that you do this, you have to hold this button down, this red button, while simultaneously turning on the transmitter. And now I am bound to the quadcopter. There's no blinking lights over there. I'm looking at my goggles, and I got good reception. And by the way, these are the goggles that come with it. You know, you insert that little screen inside the top of this thing. Let me show it to you real quick. And there is the monitor screen. You stick it inside, slide it in there, close it up, and it becomes goggles. Now, I have a second set of this monitor screen. And if you look over here, I am actually recording the monitor screen from my Bugs 8 on top of that, in that little black box on top of these goggles. I am also recording via the goggles, by the way. So we're going to have 2 means of recording the FPV. Now, the Bugs 8 goggles in there, it's probably going to be blurry because that camera is very close to the screen, so it's not going to be perfectly focused. But I'm going to switch in and out between that and the recording that I'm getting with my goggles. Okay, let's go for a flight of this thing. Putting on the Bug 6 goggles that I got with this. And let's see how this performs. Also, I want to go to high rate. Hopefully that's high rate, because I've been flying this around low rate and I did not even know it. So here we go. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, up and down. Oh yeah, I got to start the motors first. Pressing the red button, motors are started, and away we go. Okay, this is probably low rate. Yeah, that's high rate. So again, you know, I was flying this before in low rate, folks. Now, this is flyable with these goggles. Okay, I'm over there getting... Oops. I had to land it, folks. It went out of range. Hear that beeping? Okay, I see what happened here. I flew over there by the tennis courts, but if you notice, we're perfectly lined up with a whole bunch of trees here. These trees can block signal through the water in the leaves. So you got to be careful sometimes. That's just a freak direction that I went in. So I'll try to remember that for the rest of this flight. Okay, putting the goggles back on. We should be bound. Got to start the motors back up again. And this time I forgot to hit record. Hitting recording. And there we go. It's recording now. And away we go. Okay. So let's go up and down this field once. Going back to high rate, which is, I keep forgetting which button to press for rate. That's low, that's high. Okay, let's go up and down and try high speed flying of this thing. First turning it around. That's low rate, that's high rate, just checking. Yeah, that was weird. I went behind all those trees and they sure as heck did cover up the signal. This time, let's go over here now. Stay away from that tree. See, over here I'm okay. Now it's starting to get a little blurry because I'm going behind that group of trees there. So you want to probably have a clear line of sight to the quadcopter. Don't go behind trees. So yeah, this flies like the Bugs 8, in effect. And the goggles are usable. And I'll go down through the trees again, lowering the throttle down. Coming up high and over the trees. Yeah, hear that beep? I went a little too far there. And again, I'm using, the batteries I'm using might be the problem too. I'm using nickel metal hydride 1.2 volt, rechargeables. You might want to use alkalines in this. There it is again. Got to get closer. I was too far out there. Yeah, I got a feeling it's my batteries, folks, in my transmitter. So for the remainder of the flight, we're going to stay a little bit closer. Now, am I pressing the right button for rate? I'm pretty sure it was. Yep, a little high. Because this doesn't feel as snappy as the basic Bugs 8 that I was or Bugs 6 that I was flying the other day in high rate. That one was very snappy. Well, maybe this one could be snappy too. Let's try which one's the flip button again? I got to remember. Is this a flip button? No. Yeah, that's a flip button. Okay, let's try it. Let's go right here. I'll go a little too far that way. There, I did a flip. Auto flips. So all in all, this is still not an acro racer. This is just a beginner's introduction to FPV racer. Only can fly in angle mode, same as the Bugs 8. Angle. There's no acro mode. There is no horizon mode. So again, basic introduction to FPV flying, and I think actually this Bugs 6 and the Bugs 8 do that rather well. But they do keep you flying in angle mode only, but you do get a good introduction to it. Now it's a long flyer, folks. It is a long flyer, so that is a good advantage there. So most FPV racers can only fly for a few minutes. This one flies a long time. So that's its big advantage right there. You'll get a lot of time to practice. If you get a regular racer and you start practicing with that, you got 3 minutes of flight. You're gonna pop another battery in. This one goes along to. Oops, I went behind that tree there and I got a beep. I definitely need better batteries in the transmitter. It's the transmitter's fault. I'm almost guarantee it. The batteries I got in the transmitter for the relatively short range, because Because this thing, you know, I flew the Bug 6 and the Bugs 8 with 1.5 volt batteries, and it had no problems. 1.2 volts, yeah, the range is a little bit shorter. It's quite a bit shorter. So keep that in mind, folks. Let's see if I can go down here around this tree. Yep. Good quadcopter. Now I'm going to bring it in for landing. I'm going to do line of sight. People like to see line of sight flying. So let's land it. Which button here? That one. Got to press it that way. Throttle down. And off. That's interesting. You can't turn this off if there's some throttle on this, folks. It will not turn off. That's interesting. So in effect, you can't drop it from the sky. Okay, for the remainder of this flight, I am going to be doing line of sight flying. Let me put my glasses on first and get my mirror out. The reason being, I want to compare how this flew, because I flew the Bug 6 without the camera installed. Now I got the camera installed. And let me stop that video first off and start the video again. And taking to the air by arming the motors. There it is up close. For those of you who want to see up close. Let me make sure it is recording. Namely my hat cam, I forgot to check that. We'll let it run there. Hat cam is recording. Putting the camera back on my head again, checking. Okay, looks good. Go back to the air. Okay, let's go to high rate once we're in the air. Okay, that's low rate, that's high rate. Oh yeah, it's still maneuverable. It's just when you're flying FPV, it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, it's a little bit heavier there. It doesn't have the oomph that it had without that camera, lifting that camera. I can see it right there. I tried to give it throttle to take to the air. Now, without the camera, this thing is extremely nimble. But it does feel the weight of that camera. I can see that right now. Because that camera is not a light camera. 500 milliwatt camera. So, let's see here. Where's the flip button? Able to do that. Bring it in closer so you can see it again. I'm sorry, folks. I keep forgetting to bring it in close. Let's try some of the flips with the camera installed. Bring it over here first. Okay, right flip. See? It feels the weight of that camera. I can see that right now. Man, without the camera installed, you saw my previous flight of the basic Bug 6. This thing is amazing flyer, but with the camera, it's quite a bit heavier. But that's to be expected. But you know, you can remove that camera if you get bored with the FPV. It's easy to remove. You pop the top off. Pop the top off and just unplug it and unscrew that camera. Or maybe you can, maybe a lighter weight all-in-one camera might be an option too. Okay, there's our battery, so we're going to call it quits here. I'm not going to land it immediately. Yeah, I am going to land it right now because I want to save that video. And stopping the video. Go back to the air again. Now, Frequent Flyer flew this for a long time until that battery died. I don't know if I want to do the same. I think this thing will fly actually until the battery is fully depleted. And as such, you know, I recommend when you get that beep, just land it. You don't want to damage your batteries. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And notice it beeps also. So turning off the motors by a long press. And unplugging the quadcopter, which is also beeping. And turning off the transmitter. So that's the flight of the Bug 6 full FPV version. Yeah, it's flyable. Make sure you use alkaline batteries in your transmitter to get the maximum range. Apparently it doesn't like my nickel metal hydride. With that camera installed, it is somewhat less nimble than the basic version. Actually significantly less nimble than the basic version without the camera. Lifting that camera does rob it of some power. I can see right now. That's a 500 milliwatt camera. That's probably sucking a lot of juice from that would be going to the motors also. So I hope you enjoyed this flight of the Bug 6 full FPV. And it's Quadcopter 101 signing out.